This video contains sensitive content of a highly graphic nature, which some people may find offensive, harmful, traumatizing, or disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Breaking news tonight as we come on the air.
Standing outside the scene of the crime, where earlier today police discovered the remains of what is believed.
If you must go out, please remain on high alert, as the suspect is believed to be armed and dangerous. Shot fire.
In the early morning hours of Monday, July 7, 1997, a young woman, identified only as MC, awoke to the troubling sounds of movement in her apartment located in northeast Albuquerque, New Mexico. Only minutes before, MC had been waiting at the back entryway to let her cat inside. Leaving the door propped open, allowing air to circulate into her bedroom nearby, was not uncommon for that time of year, especially as the previous day saw hot and humid weather that no doubt left the apartment balmy and restless. Thinking nothing of it at the time, the simple act of leaving her door open and unlocked would be something she would live to regret. Just before dawn, as she was attempting to fall back to sleep, an unidentified man entered her residence through the partially ajar back door. And in a matter of moments, the tranquility of her home would be shattered forever. Upon entering the apartment, the man moved calmly and deliberately as he proceeded to savagely beat MC into a submissive state. She would later recall to investigators that the perpetrator gave indications that he had raped women before, going so far as to say he wasn't nervous, he was assured, commanding, and he knew exactly what he would do next. While holding her at knife point, the intruder ordered MC to undress. Bruised and semi-conscious, she was unable to comply. Taking matters into his own hands, the man viciously tore off her underwear and proceeded to sexually assault MC. Unfortunately for our victim, this would not be the end of her nightmarish encounter. Following the sexual assault, the man rushed his victim into the bathroom and demanded that she wash off, most likely in the hopes that the process would remove any residual DNA. Comforted only by the warmth of her shower, MC reluctantly agreed to the demands. But when she emerged from her bathroom 30 minutes later, the perpetrator had fled.
911, what's your emergency?
Yes, hello, I need help. A man broke into my apartment, and he had a knife, and he raped me.
Okay, ma'am, I need you to breathe. You said he raped you. Is he still there?
I'm pretty sure he's still gone, but he broke in and raped me, and then he made me...
And where are you located?
I'm in Albuquerque, at Street, near the market.
But you said the man has left.
I don't know, but I came out of the shower, and it doesn't look like he's still here, because he took my briefcase and my credit cards, and he has all my information. Please send someone here.
Okay, ma'am. I'm sending over a uniformed officer now to check on you, as well as an ambulance to take you to the hospital.
Okay, please hurry.
And what's your name, ma'am?
It's...
Okay, just sit tight. In the meantime, I want you to stay on the phone with me, lock your doors, and wait for the officers to arrive.
Okay.
For more than 20 years, the rape kit used to gather DNA from the victim sat in evidence at the Albuquerque Police Department. Because of a large backlog of similar samples, the DNA profile was never entered into the Federal Combined DNA Index System, or CODIS, the database of DNA from unknown suspects and convicted criminal offenders. With the weight of that morning too heavy to bear, the woman, who was known to the public only as MC, moved from the Albuquerque area as she attempted to put the haunting event in her rearview mirror. Silence fell on the investigation as it gathered dust for more than 2 decades. That was until newly elected Mayor Tim Keller took office in 2018. Keller, a former state auditor, conducted the first statewide examination of the backlog and found there were thousands of untested rape kits on the shelves in evidence storage. 75% of these untested kits were from the Albuquerque area and Bernalillo County. MC was not alone. In total, 4,742 kits were sent for testing, resulting in 518 separate DNA matches in CODIS. Unfortunately for MC, the sample collected from July 1997 was not one of them. Over the course of 24 years, the case had gone cold, and no new evidence linked a suspect to the crimes from that morning. But in an effort to clear the DNA backlog, Albuquerque police had gone one step further, tasking their sex crimes unit with locating the victims and tracking down the offenders. With no matches in CODIS and no new leads, detectives with the Albuquerque Police Department would have had little to act on in the past. But with the technological advancement of genealogy methodology from companies like 23andMe and Ancestry.com, law enforcement has been able to identify suspects through family lineage. Last year, the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office partnered with Bode Technology to perform forensic genetic genealogy testing on MC's rape kit. It would take another 11 months for results to come back, but in November of 2021, detectives found they had a genealogical match to the DNA. By building a family tree, forensic genealogists were able to narrow the results to a trio of brothers, and when taking into account known residences during the time of the offense, detectives began to investigate Edward Gilbert Duran. Duran, who would have been 39 at the time of the attack, was previously convicted in 1979 for criminal sexual penetration and aggravated burglary, a charge that would see him spend 6 months behind bars. But that would not be Duran's final run-in with the law. In 1989, he was accused of assault with intent to commit a violent felony, having been sentenced in 1991 to serve an additional 6 months with 2.5 years probation. But since his release, Duran was virtually unknown to Albuquerque police, and to all those unassuming, fully reformed. Investigative genetic genealogy is a relatively new technique for identifying criminal suspects. It was first used in 2018 to identify the Golden State Killer, Joseph D'Angelo, and is currently in use to establish profiles for hundreds of cases across the United States. While those in law enforcement have come to see the benefit of genetic profiling, some are concerned with the privacy implications of the technique. However, in the case of Edward Duran, authorities had already met their match. Once the family tree had been compiled and a relative timeline of events and locations were established, detectives began surveilling Duran in and around Bernalillo County. That's when an opportunity presented itself. On November 15th of 2021, the investigating detective followed Duran to the Samurai Grill and Sushi Bar restaurant in Albuquerque. Duran, who was dining out with his family, left behind a used fork, a simple enough act that would eventually lead to his downfall. The fork was collected for DNA comparison. That's when investigators got a shocking result. Not only was Edward Duran's DNA a match to the sample collected from July of '97, but further testing revealed that his DNA matched that of 7 other rape kits in the backlog. Those cases are said to have occurred in July 1990, August 1992, October 1992, January 1993, July 1993, October 1993, and January 1994. One of the assaults, in July of 1990, was committed while Duran was being prosecuted for the 1989 rape. Detectives from the Albuquerque Police Department arrested Edward Gilbert Duran on Tuesday, December 21, 2021, because there is no statute of limitations on first-degree felony charges like the one Duran faces in this case. He is likely to be charged in connection to the other ongoing investigations linking his DNA. Edward Duran has denied any involvement in the July 1997 incident. This is the second case using forensic genealogy in which the Albuquerque District Attorney's Office has charged a suspect. In May of 2020, Angel Gurule, who raped a woman on Christmas Eve in 2015, pled guilty to 2 counts of criminal sexual penetration in the second degree. For MC, as well as hundreds of other victims in the backlog, their justice, once darkened by decades of inadequacy, will finally see a new dawn with the help of forensic genetic genealogy. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Wrongdoing. For those of you interested in the dark underbelly of some of true crime's most interesting cases, wildest conspiracy theories, and unsolved mysteries, Wrongdoing is for you. If you enjoyed yourself, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss when we release new content. Every episode is expertly researched and presented in a no-nonsense, straightforward manner, taking you beyond the police reports and sensational headlines. If you'd like to receive notifications of early releases before they are published here on YouTube, exclusive merchandise, and access to our Wrongdoing podcast, consider joining our Patreon. All of these links can be found in the video description or on our YouTube page. Wrongdoing is written and produced by Christopher Douglas and narrated by Molly Oblivion.